Good evening, everyone. So, how is everyone? Everyone is fine. You can ping in the chat box. How are you guys doing? Am I audible to you all? Okay, fine. Okay. So, you guys know about our venture of Coding Fiesta, which is a 1 month long program in which we will teach you all the basics of C++ and build your logic accordingly. And so today, our instructors, Mr. Ankush from second year computer science department and Sakshi from second year IT department will take the uh, session of loops in C++ today. And this will be the third lecture of this series of lectures in which you will get to learn about the loops in C++. So I hope you guys must have learned very much from the past two sessions and giving my introduction as well. So myself, Pranav Rajveer, and I am the president of this club. And I hope that you enjoy this session and learn a great deal from this session. So Ankush, over to you, and you can take over from this part now and continue the session. Enjoy, everyone.
Okay, thank you. 1 minute.
Yeah, okay. Your voice is echoing.
So,
Hello guys, how you all? Wish you all are good. So the motive of today's session is to be learn about loops. Before starting the session, I want to give my intro first. I am Ankush Mudgil, CSC branch second year and also an executive member of our Codechef chapter. Now, I want to ask a question that is, what is a loop? You can answer in the comment box. Okay, now I will tell you the bookish definition of a loop. It is a programming structure that repeats a sequence of instructions until a specific condition is met. I know some of people are not get this. Don't worry, I will tell you after an example. Okay, okay, listen. If you want to print a specific string like hello world 10 times or 100 times, then what do you think? You are writing the cout statement 100 times. I know many of you think that we copy it 100 times. It is okay, but when you have to write it 10,000 times or more than this, then what you will do? So, to solve this problem, we have the concept of loops. Now, I will tell you the benefits of using loops. The first one is it decrease our code length, and the next one is the most important is time. It saves a lot of time, and everyone knows what is the value of time. Okay, now going forward, we will discuss about the types of loops. The first one we are going to learn is about for loop. Now, here you can see that this this is known as flowchart. Flowchart is nothing. Uh, it is just a way to represent the plan before execution. Okay, and here you can see that initialization, expression. First of all, uh, we have to initialize an expression. After that, our condition met and it gives us true or false. If it is true, it goes inside the for loop body, and after the execution of the for loop statements, it goes to update the expression and it get back to the condition. It again check it. If it is false, then the loop is terminates. Uh, Inside this block, if a condition is false, this if condition is false, the inside this block, any of the statement is not work. So now, to understand it, we will take an example, that is print the first n natural numbers. Here you can see the output. As you can see here, enter number 11 is entered. After that, you can see the counting. Now I will show you the code. First of all, I comment it. After that, I will start. Now come to the question. The question is that print the first n natural numbers. Now I will tell you how to program. First is First one is basic code we have to write. This is our header file. This is our main function. Now the question is that print the first n natural numbers. Okay. So first of all, we have to take an variable of integer type, data type, and then we print a statement to tell the user that what he what he has to do. Now we take input from the user like this, and we put our for loop. Here you can see that first I wrote for the type of loop, and then inside the bracket I initialize a value. I can uh, I can take it here also, and I can put an I here. Both are correct. Now I initialize it from 1. After that, we have to write the condition. The condition is that I is always less than equal to n. It means when I reach to n plus 1, the loop terminates. Now update, we have to add an update, that is I plus plus. Here you can I plus plus means I always changes by 1, added by 1, or you can represent it like this: 1, like this, and one more, that is this. Now I make the block of for loop, and here we write the statement, that is the out. We have to print the I whole time, and at last handle, and return type 0. Okay. Now I execute the program. You can see the output. Yeah, here you can see that enter a number. This message that we write here that a number like 7 and enter. After that, you can see that our output is here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Now what next? The next part of while loop will take by Sakshi ma'am. Hello, Sakshi.
Okay, okay, I'll take over. Stop presenting.
Okay. If you have any doubt in for loop, you can message me in comment box.
Okay. So no doubts, then I'll continue further. So I'm Sakshi Sinha, second year IT. Also, I'm an executive member at Codechef ITGGV. So as Ankush told that there are three types of loop, basically a for loop, while loop, and a do while loop. So coming to the while loop part, so the syntax of while loop is as shown, like while, and in bracket we write some condition. If the condition is true, the code gets executed. So it goes like, if the condition is true, if the test condition is true, then the loop body gets executed. If it is false, then the loop terminates. Like if it is true, then the loop body gets executed, and again the variable, like in the body part, the variable it gets incremented, and then again like it repeats itself. It's so here while is a keyword which is recognized by the compiler. So it basically works as, if the given condition is true, the code gets executed, or else the loop terminates. So basically a for loop and a while loop do the same work, but here comes the question, like when to use a for loop and when to use a while loop. So while loop is used in situations where, like, we do not know how many times loop needs to be executed. uh, and for loop is used where like we already know the number of times loop needs to be executed. So I'll explain it further with an example. So we'll be writing a program to print the like table of 5. I won't be writing the code. I'll just like dry run the code for you. So here it's like we initialize I is equals to 1 before starting the while loop, and then in the while loop part, here it is the condition for the like while loop, and then here if the condition is true, the this will get executed, and this is the incrementation part, like update condition. So so here like if I here I is equal initially is equals to 1, then we check for the condition like if I is less than or equal to 10, then we multiply I with 5, that is 1 into 5, which is equal to 5, and then increment I, and now I becomes 2. I becomes 2, and again the loop gets executed. Like I becomes 2, and again 2 is less than or equal to 10, and then 2 into 5, which is equal to 10. So here first we get 5, then 10, and again I gets incremented, it becomes 3, and 3 into 5, which is equal to 15, and it runs until like I is equals to 10, because after I is equals to 10, if we increment I, it becomes 11, and after when it becomes 11, the 11 is not less than or equal to 10, and our condition here fails, like this part the condition fails, then loop terminates. So after like 10 into 5, which is 50, after that the loop terminates. I hope you understood. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the chat box, write it in the chat. Okay, so I'll continue further. So next is the do while loop part. So syntax of do while loop is as shown in like here. Do, and then it's like the code, the body of the loop, and then while and the text expression. Here semicolon, like you need to take care of it. And what else? Like in case of do while loop, the code written under the body part gets executed once, and after that it checks for the condition. So if the condition if the condition is true, if the test condition is true, it again gets executed, or else like if the condition is false, the loop terminates. So after that, like again we'll take one example. So here we'll be writing a program to print the sum of first and natural numbers. So here again we initialize I is equals to 1, and we take one variable n, that is first and natural number. So we'll take an input from the user, and we'll also declare a variable sum which is equal to 0 initially, and then we like and then after like we suppose that the entered number is 5, like in case of 5. So we'll have to print the sum of first 5 natural numbers, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, like 1 plus 2 plus 3, 4 plus 5, which is equal to 15. We'll have to print, we'll have to get the sum, that is 15 here in this case. So here in this part, initially I is equals to 1, and sum is 0, then uh, like after entering in the loop part, so in the here it's written sum is equals to sum plus I. So here the sum is initially 0, and here the sum gets updated, like sum is equals sum to sum plus I, that is 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1. And again we increment I. Now I becomes equal to 2, and we again check the condition here, and it is true, like 2 is less than or equal to 5, for we are calculating it for 5. And then we check the condition and it is true, and we repeat it like 2 plus 1, which is equal to 3, and we repeat it until like n is equals to 5, because after 5 when we increment I it becomes 6, and 6 is not less than or equal to 5, and here our condition fails, and we come out of the loop, like the loop terminates, and we get our required sum, which is equal to 15. And okay, like so let's see the difference between a while loop and a do while loop. So the basic differences are, first difference is the while loop evaluates when the condition first and then execute the statements. Uh, and in case of do while, the do while loop executes the statements first before evaluating the condition. And the second difference is the condition is specified at the beginning of the loop, and in do while the condition isn't specified until after the body of the loop. Like we have already seen this in the like syntax part before. Here, like the condition is after the body in do while, and in while the condition is given before, it is saying that only. And the third difference is the body is executed only if a certain condition is met, and it terminates when the condition is false. So in do while loop part, it checks first for the condition. If it is true, the loop like the code gets executed, or else the loop terminates. While in the like do while loop, the body is always executed at least once, regardless of whether the condition is met. So here, like to make the third difference more clear, I will take one example. I'll show you. Okay, so here you can see, like in the main part, I is initialized to 2, like I is equals to 2, and here we need to print this inside body of do while loop. So and then we increment I, and I is less than, we'll check it after, so we'll run it. So here you can see that it's giving us the output like inside body of do while loop, but I is equals to 2, and it gets executed the code, and after that 2 is incremented by 1, like I is equals to, it basically is I is equals to I plus 1, so 2 becomes 3, and 3 is not less than 1. Our condition is actually false. Even though the condition is false, our code is getting executed once. So it's saying that uh, the body of loop is always executed at least once, regardless of whether the condition is met. So we saw that, and then okay, and what else? Okay, to make the difference between a while loop and a do while loop like more clear, I'll explain it with a real life example. So it's like when we want to travel by flight, we have to book our tickets first before traveling, and this is a case of a while loop. And when we want to travel by bus, we can take the tickets after entering into the bus, like after, while traveling, like during the journey, we can take the tickets. So this is the case of a like do while loop. I hope it's like more clear now. uh, okay, then, like, we have, I guess we have read enough of theory part. We'll take some practical problems. So here, from here, like Ankush will take over. He'll do like some practical questions for you
Okay,
guys.
okay.
You can.
First, I put a link in the chat box. Go to this link. So this is a question of our code chef, and you can read this problem first. After that, I will tell you. Okay, now start. Some time ago, chef bought X stocks. Chef. He want to tell the chef bought X stocks at the cost of rupees Y. The cost of each stock is Y. After that, he sell the stocks at the rate of Z rupees, and we have to tell what is the chef's total profit after he sells them. Chef's profits equal the total amount he received by selling the stocks minus the total amount he spent buying them. Now, what we have to take input, the here is a written input format. First of all, we have to take integer t, denoting the number of test cases. Okay, test cases you can see here, like one time, two time, or three time. Here is three time used. After that, we take three variables x, y, and z, where x is the amount of stocks and y and z are the price of selling and botting. This is the output format here. For each test case, print on a new line a single integer. We have to print the output that what is the profit, total profit. Here, these are the constant. Here we can see that t is between 1 to 100. We take t between 1 to 100. X and y is 1 to 10 raised to power 4, and y is always less than equal to z. It means we cannot take input y greater than z. And this is the sample input 1. Here this 3 is 3 means the test case. After that, these are written below. First test case is 2520, and first I will show the code here. Here you can see that this is the basic header file added, and then after that we take a integer t, that for the test case we take an input t from the user, and then we put a for loop here, that is int for int I is equals to 0, we initialize I is equals to 0, and then I is less than t. This is the condition, I less than t, and I plus plus. Here you can see that I is less than t. It means t say I is 1. When I is equals to t, the condition is false because I is equals to 0. I started from 0. Then it the for loop will go t times, and the update is I plus plus. I plus plus, or we can write it like this: I plus 1. And we can do it like this. Okay. Now these are the three variables x, y, and z. We take the input of in x, y, and z. After that, we print the output like cout x star z minus y. We write this because z minus y means the selling cost minus the boating cost. It gives a profit of with one stock, and we multiply it with x. It means we counting the full profit and then return 0. Now I will tell you it with an another loop. I think do while loop we have to use first. Now we initialize it, I is equals to 0, and here we start with do loop. This code is same, and then like this, and then semicolon. Uh, and we have to update, add and update like this: I equals to I plus 1. Now I will show the output. Now we have to enter the t, like I enter the t 2. Wait a minute, taking time. Yes, yes. Now now we have to enter the x, y, and z. X we can take x as 10. We have 10 stocks, and y we can take y as uh, let's say 8, and z we have to take z greater than y, so it can be 12. Okay, and it gives us 40 for the first test case. Now we put t is equals to 2. It means we have to enter one more test case. That let's say we have 100 stocks with a boating price 70 rupees and selling price 150. Now it tell the total profit, that is 8,000. And after the execution finished, it showed this. And here this is the explanation of the question, that if you attend the question, you can see this explanation, how to test case 1, is it true or false or like that. This is the real question that we have to do in future. If now you have any doubt, you can ask in the chat box.
Hello. Hello.
We read all these. This is the homework questions for you, and you have to solve all of these. If you have any doubt, you can ask on Discord.